I think today is the one day we can get away with calling him Dolph Mother Truckin' Ziggler.
I'll allow it today legally. I mean, I'm not going to sue you guys.
All right, so Nick, let me ask you to start off.
Boxer briefs.
How was your night as Dolph Ziggler in Madison Square Garden?
Insanely fun and awesome and cool. I had a hideout all day, which was fun. In 20 years, I got to watch so many people hide under the ring or sit on a bus somewhere. I never got to do the hiding. So I had all black on, and I put like a ski mask over my face and sunglasses, and they pulled me into the loading dock inside of the building, and then I got walked in, and I got to hide out for like 5 or 6 hours. But after, once someone comes and visits you, then a couple more people come to visit you, and then my brother goes, "Oh, I just found out online and it's official that it's you." And I'm like, "Okay, great." So it took a solid hour of people poking their head into wave to like put it online somewhere to some journalists or quotes, but like it was awesome. The in between for a lot of stuff was Bob Roode, who was a badass wrestler, and we got to tag together, and he's the agent, and he's even better at agenting than he is in the ring, and he's still jacked and awesome and great. So it was so cool to have him, like, going back and forth between him before we figured everything out. Surreal moment. There's so many, like, they could have me back for any show in any city, and it would be cool and fun. I am very fortunate to have something like the Cena tournament, and like, hey, you have history with this guy, and like, you don't even have to like force it. Like, we have genuine history. It's like really cool. And then also getting to be in Madison Square Garden, also getting to come back after 2 years, all these positions and be a surprise, all these different pieces all added up to like, I was excited, but it's wrestling. We have these egos. We're crazy. I go, I hope they remember, because otherwise what am I doing here? And then music hits and you get that 1/1000 of like, okay, they do. All right, let's go to work. Like that's the difference.
And speaking of them remembering, the number one way to tell you that they remember is that noise they make when they hear your music, known as the pop. And I went on social media last night and I said that your pop was as loud as Cena's. Not just blowing smoke up your ass because you're part of the family over here, but it was legit, man. Those people came unglued when they heard your music and when they saw you. You've experienced it all over your career, but did that pop or walking out in front of the Garden last night, did that overwhelm you at all? Did you have that massive adrenaline rush? Did you black out at all, or were you able to take it all in?
Do you get that sometimes? Do you know? I know what you're talking about because I've had it before, to where you get extra worked up and you feel that rush and you start screaming and yelling and getting into it, and you start seeing like the sparks everywhere. You know, like you feel like you are gonna faint for a second. That's happened 5 or 6 times to me, maybe more. And that was one of those times you're like, yeah, let's. And I'm doing everything, and you're feeding off of everyone, and you genuinely feel like you might pass out. It's really funny. That's a very real thing that has happened a few times. But man, hearing the noise, seeing I since the new stage, I didn't know there was like people behind you, because
Yeah.
And I was like, I got to turn around and do something. I'm like, whoa, there's people back here. Like, incredible sound. But yeah, that sound is a real thing, and you feed off of it. And a couple times you get lightheaded and see some sparks, then you like, it's a good night out.
I listen, as a fan watching it from home, because I didn't see any of it. Bully, I don't know if you did, but I didn't see any reports online or anything hinting that Nick was going to be out there last night. So when he went out there, it was a total surprise to me, and it seemed like it was a total surprise to 20,000 people at Madison Square Garden.
The way it should be. It should be a complete surprise, and I'm glad it was for Nick. The people were into it. And here's the difference between Nick and Cardona. And I put Cardona over to the moon yesterday. But Nick, I said there was a good and there was a bad of Cardona coming out, of Zack Ryder coming out. The minute I heard his music, I was like, yeah! And then a second later, I was like, meh, he's not winning. With you, it was different. And it was different because you are a former WWE World Heavyweight Champion. And they very well could pull the trigger. And I said, you know what? This son of a bitch is going to hit a zigzag at the right spot at the right moment, and that place is going to come unglued, which is exactly what happened. I felt that people were behind you more than Cardona, which is not a knock on Cardona, because they've seen you at the top and they remember that cash in. Did you, in the middle of the ring, did you feel that you had the people as well as you could have had them?
Weirdly, as much as I critique everything that I do, and when I do watch this back, I'm going to hate the way I was standing or and 15 little things that most people will never see. I knew we were a little pressed for time, but I have an ability to make 8 minutes seem like 15 sometimes. So I was trying to do that, but also enjoy the moment and then rush it, but also get to a point where we cannot do it. But yes, I go, hopefully there's 2 or 3 moments in this entire match where, one, it looks like he's got me and it's not. And 2 times where, one, like, it's a believable that I can win, or we get something where Solo takes such a great post, just like Sergeant Slaughter used to in the 80s. And then I was talking to Paul and Dave before the show, and I said, he hits that post and I take a step towards being 2 steps away from jumping up for my finish, and I could already feel the crowd coming with me, almost like it was that Money in the Bank cash in. And it's not throwing away a finish. It's, I don't work in this company, and I go, I'm going to give them every possible, any inkling that I could pull something off. And if anybody could, I could steal one. He could eat that post. He could eat my finish. I could win this match. Solo could wake up, beat the living crap out of me, send me out on a stretcher, and I don't come back to WWE, and he goes on to the next round. There's so many different ways. And you're right. Like, yeah, I love Cardona. I was pitching for Cardona to get the Madison Square Garden match because I thought, New York guy, I know upstate is the capital, but that doesn't, it's not
No,
Madison Square
no.
Garden. And I was like, this kid, he deserves it. I go, but there is a slight difference in the two of us. He loves wrestling. Like, we're very similar in a lot of ways, but I do have a couple world titles, and people go, every once in a while I can steal something, and I go, man, if we could find a way to get to the next round, or at least 2 different situations, have everyone go, this is how they do it. And I'm 2 steps away from jumping for my finisher. I could hear the crowd like they were watching it in slow motion, and it was a beautiful thing. And Solo was on point, great the whole way, so easy to work with. But I really think in the time allotted, we crushed it. We gave everybody everything we could have. We gave the ups and downs of it, and man, was the crowd there. It was a beautiful thing, and it always flies by, but like it flew by, and I really wanted to soak that in a little bit more.
So what's it like walking in the back at Madison Square Garden? I saw you took the picture with Triple H, as everybody does at the end of the ride. You got to take a picture with Triple H. But, but what was it like, because you said it's 2 years, but it seems longer, like just being a part of the WWE machine again for a night.
Yeah, it kind of does feel like, the first 6 months out, it felt like I never left. And now for the last year and a half, it does feel like I'm in like a new, different place, and it's been a long time. And I know I already said this, but like, you don't know if they're going to remember. People all day can go like, yeah, they're gonna, you did 20. You don't know, because we're crazy people in this business, and everything about it is what happened that day. But being backstage at Madison Square Garden, like pulling in, I was just like, oh man, this is crazy. And then everyone's, you're hiding out, and a couple people are poking their heads in and saying hello, and you're like, oh man. And once 45 people poked their heads in over 5 hours, it's just like, it felt like I was back in the old locker room. A couple new faces, that's great, but it was just being in Madison Square Garden's a big, Bubba, you and I talked about this before. It's so hard to explain, because the first couple times I went there 15, 20 years ago, it's kind of a dump.
Yeah,
and it's like, but it's this gritty, beautiful thing, and it's like, you feel it like, man, this moment happened here, and this moment happened here, and this, and then arena fills up with the people, you're like, oh God, I cannot explain the difference in that and a sold out 20,000 arena somewhere else with fans hanging off the rafters and screaming. There is something extra special about being in that building, and you just feel it, even if you're not doing something important. And I was very, very lucky to be in that moment, in this tournament, a surprise. All those pieces fit, and like they all added up to this perfect moment of the fans saying, we remember you and we're in this match, and they were there every step of the way. And it was just, I can't, I'm gonna go watch it back, and I'll text you guys about how mad I am about where my feet were here and why I was laying here wrong and I moved this timing. But I'm gonna enjoy it for right now until I get home and watch it tomorrow, because the moments I got to actually enjoy it and like catch my breath and go, damn, this is one of the coolest things in the world.
You did look like you were retaining a little water last night.
Oh, you son of a bitch. I'm going to burn this place to the ground. I still haven't eaten in 32 hours. No, wait. At 4 a.m., I had 3 McGriddles or something. I don't know.
Really quick. Really quick.
I just want to go back to what he said about, Madison Square Garden looking like a dump. It's so funny, and I'm sure a lot of people, listening this morning are like, what? He just called the Garden a dump?
Yes.
Here's the thing, and Dolph, tell me if you agree.
Yeah.
When you get there, when you're spending all day at the Garden, you're like, really? This is it? This is
Do you remember the old locker rooms used to have like an inch of standing water all the way across it at all times?
Yeah.
Like it was like brown water, and I go, this is MSG? And you're like, what? But we're there, 10 hours early for TV, and then it starts getting put together. Then the people start coming in, and you get like goosebumps, and then it becomes, once you go out into the arena,
exactly.
Oh my God, I've never felt anything like this. But it's, I'm saying dump in a funny way, because you're like, it's not brand new, it's not high tech, and you get the grittiness to it. But there was always, for like the first 5 years I went, an inch or two of standing brown water all the way across our locker rooms, and let alone everything else. But it really, it makes it even that much bigger when you step through the curtain and you're like, oh, the people. We did Christmas tours, live events, a Sunday afternoon show, pay-per-views. I talked on here about like a cage match with Cena. I've done all the top and the bottom at MSG, and every damn one of them was more special than any other kind of match somewhere else.
That's awesome.
It's only once you go through the curtain does the Garden become the Garden. Then it's like, oh, this is what everybody's talking about. Dave?
Yeah.
No, because I was going to ask, like, how long did you know that last night was happening?
2-3 weeks, perhaps.
All right. The reason why I asked that is because you're in a unique position, because you host a radio show.
Yes.
So for the last 2 or 3 weeks, you've been talking on the air about this tournament. And Bully, we've talked how many times about who's going to be the surprise at Madison Square Garden. So that had to be odd to be talking about something that at the end of the day you knew you were going to be a part of.
Yeah, of course. But like we've gone over this many times when I say there is a handful of surprises and big moments that everybody remembers, and you try, and I do everything in my power. I didn't tell my parents. I told my brother, and I said, if anyone finds out, I'll know it's you told them, because I told nobody else. And it was like, so, okay, we have that. And I go, that's it, because I just wanted to have him. He has a Netflix account that he doesn't have to log into his girlfriend's account, or ex-girlfriend's like I do. So I was like, he can just do it. But I go, don't tell anyone. And if you do, I will know. If this gets out, I know it's you, because I have not said a word to anybody. Even I'm in a group chat with Bobby Roode, Zack Ryder, and Brian Myers, and I didn't say anything there. Me and Zach didn't say anything. We said nothing. And I was like, okay, no one's really thinking of it. And then every time they're like, who's going to be the surprise? Who's going to be the surprise? You'd be like, oh, Jeff Hardy, maybe Edge. But 1 in 10 would say, maybe Dolph or something. And that was it. I go, okay, this is going to be an even bigger surprise. And in the last couple of interviews I did too, not just on this show, we're talking about it. Like the big event Saturday, I had 2 different interviews. They're like, hey man, no spoilers, but like, hey, are you wrestling on Monday at the Garden? Like, caught me off guard. And I was like, I wish that would be cool. It's Cena's last Raw. I was like, oh my God. But I'll be polishing my boat at your girlfriend's house or something. Like, I don't know. It was just like he was like, oh, you're really not there? I was like, yeah, no, sorry, bro.
Is that what the kids are calling it now? Polishing your boat? I wasn't sure. I'm not
Depends what hand you use. Yeah, I'm Catholic, so I don't know.
Nick, what about the actual match?
Oh, now you call me Nick? The first time you ever called me Nick on the damn show.
Dolph, what about the actual match? You said that Bobby Roode was your agent, and
yes,
dude, I love Bobby Roode to death.
He's
personally
the best.
And professionally, he's a smart dude who really, really gets it. When you got there, was it basically Bobby just telling you guys, all right, solo up, you got 10, blah, 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 with the spike? Did you guys get to put this together the way you wanted to put together? And what was the deliberation like yesterday?
First and foremost, let's talk Bobby a little bit. He's a friend of mine, and we also got to tag together. But also, I don't know if you probably don't have this, but like I feel like I have imposter syndrome that after 25 years, someone's gonna be like, "Oh yeah, this is the day that you suck," and we all find out about it. Like I think that every day when I'm going out there, and then I'm like, I think Tommy used to tell Bobby that he was the me of TNA, and you just tell me that I was the Bobby of WWE, and like in the most positive way you can possibly say it. And then we got to tag together, became buddies, and he's so smart. I love that you said smart, because he's good, he's jacked, he knows how to do this, but he's so smart that he can translate that to being an agent backstage or producer, and he can help everybody, not in the way you're like, oh, I was an old-time wrestler and I have no other way to pay my rent, so I'll come be an agent. Like, he's a guy that he's a huge get for WWE, so it's like really great because he's so damn smart. And in this case, I really thought he'd be like, here's what they want, but it was just like, I'll be here. I got a couple ideas, but you guys put this together, and I'll be here for it. And luckily he trusted me. And Solo was easy as like the dude's. He was good when I left, and now he's 10 times better. So it was he was already good, but he's on his way to being really good. And putting pieces together, we're getting excited about like, oh, we'll get him here, and then I got you here, and they'll think it's done, and then we get him back. And then Bob kept the glue for a couple little pieces together. And even Michael Hayes came in and reminded me of one little thing. I gotta say this. I wanted to do something like not everyone in the tournament, so many people that actually worked there when it comes to the Cena matches, or even like Miz doing something. He was like, Miz was doing like the tackles and like Cena's comeback, or just little shout outs to Cena. And I go, has anyone done his submission hold? And because I don't always watch unless I'm doing the Tuesday show. So even Michael Hayes and Roode were like, I don't think anyone's done. I'm like, cool, let me throw this in here. I get to do the shout out to Cena for welcoming me into this tournament. I get to be here. So we got that in there. And then, so Michael Hayes helped us weasel a shout out to Cena in there, even though it was like we had a kind of a quick match to get to, and we found a way to do it and have it not screw up the flow and have it be great. But for the most part, Bob was the absolute glue, but we got to just Solo and I threw ideas back and forth. We started to mold it. Bob would throw pieces here and there. There's some people who are really hands-on. There's some people who have to be hands-on. And then there's some people off to the side who can go, hey, like it was almost like a Pat Patterson when you're like, hey, we put 90% of this together. We're missing something special right before the piece. And Pat, or like even like Bob, can just be like, well, what if you do this, this, and this? And you go, oh my God, that's perfect. And you're like, great. And then now we switch something else and put that in there. And it's just like, he gave us a lot of leeway, told me the basic idea of what they wanted, get to the spike. He goes, it might be 8, it might be 6 with 3 or 4 in the middle. But like, hey, I don't work there full time. So a lot of times in commercial breaks, in the old days, you'd be like, oh, do a hold or get to a couple things. But this is Netflix time, and if you're the rich guy Netflix, like my ex-girlfriend does, that I'm logged into, you get to see the commercials. So I go, hey man, I got like a 12-minute window here. I haven't been here in 2 years. I'm going all out. Solo, you in? He goes, hell yeah, Oos, let's go. And so like he was on board to go, there's no taking a break, there's no let's get a rest hold, there's tell a story and put a hold on. but we are going to go balls to the wall and then get the slow parts in between. And when the time is right, catch them and try and catch them 2 or 3 times in that match. So
encompassing the whole thing from the reaction that you got from the fans in Madison Square Garden, it's Madison Square Garden, the match that you had, John Cena's last Raw, so all eyes are on. I'm sure it's going to be a highly rated episode. Where do you rank this, like with the moments that you've had? You've had so many. I was there for your cash-in at the Meadowlands. Like, where do you rank this match? I'm
going to need a little time to do it, but I genuinely went, I know I've said this twice already. I go, I hope they remember. Because it's not just my ego. It's there's a special thing happening on this show. It's a huge show already. It's at Madison Square Garden, and there's a surprise. There's a handful of surprises that every year that you get, and you want to have them like work. And I wanted that to work. You want everyone in the back to go, oh, we missed that. Damn, that's hot. And also you want everybody out there to like be entertained. It's not like, oh, it's not Jeff Hardy. Oh, that's cool. I guess Dolph's here. But it went, I felt everyone going, okay, whether I pick this or not, holy shit, he's here, he's back, and maybe something special is going to happen in that ring. And I thought it did. So I don't know how to rank it, but and so even like office people who don't know like the lingo of wrestling were like, how about that pop, bro? And you're like, yeah, I got it. But like, but the important part was the work I was doing afterwards.
But the reason I bring it up too is because people forget when you cashed in the Money in the Bank briefcase, you were a heel.
Yeah, heel that had tried to cash in 85 other times and was probably 5-95 in my last 100 matches.
And that was one of the loudest pops I've ever heard. And then here you are coming back after you've been gone for 2 years, and there's that little bit of doubt in your mind, like, are they going to remember? So both those cases are extremely unique.
Yes. So yeah, and it really, I know I said I hope they remember, and they caught me off guard with how much they remembered and hopefully how excited they were, and they're like, oh, it's him, maybe he's gonna win, the match is gonna be sick, like all those different pieces, I hope is what they exuded into the air when I came out.
Nick, the reason why they remembered is because you gave them a body of work for all those years that they can't forget. That's it.
I'll take it, and it felt good. I mean, it'd be weird if I hadn't wrestled in like the last 6 months or 2 years or something, and I was like, oh, I'm a landscaper now, and but it was like I've been wrestling, but there was something about even just taking the first tackle from Solo and just feeling like the air come out of the room and everyone booing him, and I was like, this is going to be so fun. I wish we had 25 more minutes because I don't want to throw away or step on anything. But yeah, I hope that's the case. The body of work, I hope, speaks for itself. And then even now, it's like, if I could do that, I mean, we could do 30 minutes and tear that place down too when it's not a surprise.
Nick, first of all, thanks for coming in early here on a Tuesday morning after such a great experience last night. Congratulations. It was an awesome moment on a very special night at Madison Square Garden. We appreciate you, man. Congratulations.
This is like someone standing up in a meeting to make you like leave.
Yeah, this is where I
got the hint. Why are you turning the lights on for last call? It's 9:30 in the morning. Yeah.
This meeting's over.
Well, you're lighting a cigarette. Like, yeah, this is great. No, happy to be here. What an absolute awesome time. I hope the WWE TNA partnership continues and leads to something even better, and we'll go back and forth down the line. I'm very excited about the future of TNA, and what an awesome damn time to see all my old pals at WWE. Awesome time, and I really think we can. I hope they saw that we can continue doing things like this in the future.
And you got that TNA shout out there in the entrance as well.
Hell yeah! How about a little TNA, baby?
Yeah.
You thought I meant the wrestling company? Oh, that's on you. You should know me better, Dave.
Dude, I'm watching it last night, and Violetta walks into the room, and she's like, "Isn't that Nick?" Like. Nick, seriously, thank you, brother.
You got it, man. Thanks for having me, guys.
All right,
Great job, brother.